Well, I've got the radio all back together again, and I'm kind of pleased with it. See if I can get this camera adjusted here where I can see what I'm doing. It came back together pretty good. I got everything polished up on it. And the first time I put it back together, I began tuning the stations around, and after about the third turn, the dial cord fell off. So I took her back apart again and retensioned the dial cord and put it back on, or got it back together there, and made sure it was turning okay before I put the radio back together again, and got it back together and turned it on here and waited a little bit for it to warm up. And when it warms up, I started trying to tune the stations in. Well, I started out with it over here at 1220 on the dial, which is a local AM station.
And newer vehicles. Visit OnStar.com for details, coverage map, and system limitations.
At Geico, we've been innovating car insurance for over 75 years with forward-thinking ideas.
Noticed
like
it was in the right spot
on the Geico mobile app. And
pretty close.
We'll play one of our first radio commercials from 75 years ago.
1220 on the dial.
Geico could save you money on your car insurance, which is what we'll be doing.
And I began tuning it around a bit.
Maybe with some sort of application.
Went and put it on FM. And began tuning, and noticed right away something was wrong.
Brownstown Central qualified athletes in 4 events and similar
The dial on FM,
meet with top 3 finishes,
and I imagine on AM as well, is going backwards.
Coast Guard.
The further I go this way, back towards 88, the higher it goes on the scale, on the actual scale of the radio. And vice versa.
Estimate the number of dead in this.
Because
estimates the migrant crisis has led to more than 8,000 deaths.
Way over here.
Mission.
Sorry, we're getting It's time to get out and ride again. And Dan
right about where 103
is. New non-current motorcycles that you can get out and ride on.
Claims it's
like the new 2014 Yamaha V-Star 950 and 1300 Tour.
America's best seller. And you're going to fault him for that?
At a
VA3. And the answer could be no.
Now, once I get over here, that classical station is at about, well, I think that's a classical station, maybe not.
Always magical. Q103. It's summer. Time to get out.
Cabela's Memorial Day sale, and kick off the summer with huge savings. Get 50% off Cabela's whooping stick rods and combos, and Cabela's deluxe flotation vests. Don't miss Cabela's Memorial.
I'm not exactly sure how that's working.
At Windstream, we help small businesses do big things. Get reliable voice services and internet speeds of up to 100 megabytes.
It's just not making much sense to me. Apparently the radio is not getting a whole lot of light. Let me turn on the overhead here.
Things at windstream.com/savebig.
Maybe that'll help some.
At Norton Cancer Institute, hope is more than a word.
Not much.
It's a number, a phone number.
There's not much light in here this time of the day. It's still fairly early morning yet.
To same-day appointments for anyone who's been recently diagnosed.
Well, let me get a little closer in on it here.
Means that no one has to wait for answers, and that no one has to
I've got it cleaned up fairly well.
To speak with a specialist or to schedule
as best that I can do, at any rate.
Cancer Institute, caring for the body and the person within.
Why choose Galen College of Nursing?
There are lots of reasons.
Unlike many schools, you start in the nursing program right away. Full-time, part-time, and online.
But that dial has got me flummoxed.
Into my busy schedule.
I guess I'm going to have to...
Nursing pathways, like the new online RN to be a...
You see, that's... should be the top of the dial there.
Comes when Rebel Wilson comes out and shuts it down.
She's my fave.
I wish I knew what station that was.
And they'd only do it if they weren't attracted to them anymore. That's the number one reason. It's not that they're not in a position that...
97.5 WAMZ.
There we are. That's supposed to be 97.5, and it's over at 104.
Memorial Day sale, but when the Collins Auto Group has a Memorial Weekend sale, it's the.
I guess the only thing that I can think of is to take the radio back apart again and take the dial string off from this wheel here and flip it and put it back on while keeping the tension on this over here, so I can have a little bit of room to work with without taking the whole thing apart again, without taking the whole dial string apart again, because that is just a pain in the wazoo. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and I'll consider this the last video of it, because after that it should be done and working fine, and I can take it to my Uncle Dan down in Tennessee for his birthday. But just wrapping it up, this is Gary signing off.